We get a ton of questions here at VFC about strike indicators. And one of the most common is something along the lines of, how do you estimate the length or the distance between your flies and the strike indicator? For those of you new to fly fishing, we use strike indicators or bobbers or whatever you want to call them to tell us or to indicate when a fish takes our nymphs. The distance between our flies and the strike indicator is going to determine at what depth our flies are drifting through the water column. The general rule of thumb is to put your indicator about 1.5 times the depth of the water above that first fly. So if the water is about 4 feet deep, I'm gonna put my indicator about 6 feet above my first fly. But even that's kind of a guess. I mean, unless I jump in with a tape measure, I don't really know exactly how deep the water is. And so when I'm adjusting my indicator, it's much more trial and error. So I'll look over at the water and I'll take note of the depth and the current speed and then make a guesstimate. So if I've got some water that's about 2 or 3 feet deep and it's moving at a pretty good pace, I might put that indicator about 5 feet above my first fly. And then it's time to get to work. I'm gonna start fishing, and here's the framework I like to follow. If I start catching fish right off the bat, I mean, I'm no fly fishing genius, but I think we're in the strike zone. We don't need to make any adjustments. But if I start catching bottom every single cast, I'm gonna move that indicator closer to my first fly, shallowing out the drift. And if I never catch bottom, I'm too high in the water column and I need to go deeper. So I'll move that indicator further from my fly, giving it more time to sink. And if I'm not catching fish, but I'm snagging bottom every 4 to 5 casts or towards the end of my drift, there's a pretty good chance I'm in the strike zone, and it's only a matter of time before the fish decide to bite. Hopefully you find this helpful the next time you're out on the water and need to adjust your strike indicator. Or bobber, or whatever the kids are calling it these days.